guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sibel from Sibel's Sweets, and today I have something super special. As you all probably know, basketball is coming back, and it's super exciting. So I figured, why not throw a tribute to one of our favorite players, Luka. And today, we are going to be making a Dallas Mavericks jersey cake. Let's get baking. Sibel's Sweets. So here I have 2 vanilla cakes. I'm doing the front and the back, and that's why I have 2, but you can stack them and just do one if you want. And I'm using vanilla so the colors really pop. Right now I have this template I just cut out, and you can just get this from online. I'll have a link in the description. Super simple cutout. And right now we're just gonna carve our jersey shape and start with less, and then you can take off more as you go. And I'm gonna cut each one. So I'm just gonna use my knife. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a jersey shape. If you're a kid, get some parental supervision, some help. So now that you have your cakes cut out, I just have some buttercream here. I have American buttercream, but you can use any kind you want. I'm just giving it a quick stir to get those air bubbles out. And right now, we're just gonna crumb coat our 2 cakes, just a thin layer to lock in those crumbs, especially after cutting it. So now I'm just going over my cake one last time with my bench scraper, just to get a super even crumb coat. And now we're gonna go ahead and pop this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. So now our crumb coat is chilling in the freezer, and right now I'm getting started on coloring my buttercream for our jersey. This is whatever colored jersey that you're gonna make. But today we're gonna do the city edition for the Dallas Mavericks. It's super unique and I like the jersey a lot. I'll insert a picture here. And it kind of has an ombre to it. So after each blue, I'm just gonna darken my buttercream, so that way I only have to use 1 bowl. Also, if you have extra cake scraps, which you probably won't because you ate them all, you can make cake pops with them, or what's really trendy right now are cake popsicles. So I've just transferred over to my Lazy Susan, and I'm just doing my first layer of my ombre. And I kind of just marked out where the different shades are gonna go. So I'm just finishing up my first ombre layer, and now I'm gonna do the other jersey. So I went ahead and finished both of my jerseys with that first layer of ombre, and now I'm starting my second layer, and what I did is just added more blue to that same shade that we did the first layer with, just to get a little bit darker blue for that ombre. And you can just blend the 2 out, and we're just gonna repeat that process with all of our layers. I think we're getting to that time. I think I need a basketball break. So here I have my 2 jerseys, and I just repeated that process. I started with a teal buttercream, and then I worked my way, and I just added more blue food coloring to that teal, royal blue, and then I added some navy blue, and I just blended it out, and the shades look perfect. This is the current hand situation, but it's worth it, and these look amazing. So now you guys are probably wondering how we're gonna get the images, logos, numbers, names, all that. So there are a couple different ways to do this. You can use fondant, but I don't like the taste of it as much. You could use cookies, which is good, but that's difficult for inexperienced cookie makers. And this is the method I'm going to be using. This is called the Buttercream transfer method, and this is one of my favorite methods to use. The reason I like this method so much is because anybody can do it. It's basically just tracing, and it's super simple, and you can get really precise marks. So to start, what you're going to do is print out your image or name or number, whatever, but what you need to do is make sure it's mirrored, because the transfer method, you're going to pick it up and transfer it onto your cake, and it's going to be right side up. So to start, we need to make sure it's mirrored so we get the perfect alignment. Then what you're going to do with your image is put it on a cookie sheet or a cutting board and tape it down, and then you're going to put a piece of parchment paper or acetate over it. So once you have that taped down and you can see your image through the parchment paper or acetate sheet, what you're going to do is just trace it. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I just have a smiley face that I traced on my paper just to show you guys, but basically what I'm doing is, this is super important. You need to go over the outlines and the details first before you fill it in. So once you have your outline done, what you're going to do is pop it into the freezer for about 10 minutes just to let it firm up before we do our next layer. A toothpick is really great for smoothing out your buttercream transfer, and I like having that on hand. But now what we're going to do after it's out of the freezer is go over it with our yellow. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You can basically just cover up what you made because no one is going to see this part. And you want to make this pretty thick so that it's easy to transfer. But you're just going to pipe it on, and you can smooth it out with a toothpick and a little butter knife and just get it nice and smooth and pop it back into the freezer. So as you can see, the backside looks a little bit messy, but that is perfectly fine because as you can see, we have a perfect little smiley face on the front side, and after it is nice and frozen and cold, we will be ready to place it on our cake. Here are 3 tips that will guarantee you success with the buttercream transfer method. Number 1, start with those small little details and outlines and make sure you get those perfect, because that will make your buttercream transfer look precise and smooth and exactly as a logo or image would look. I like to use a toothpick and really small piping tips, a size 1 or 2, just to smooth things out and get the little perfect lines that I want, so they really come in handy. Number 2, be confident. Draw those lines with confidence and your buttercream transfer will turn out perfect. Step 3, I like having a little assistant or friend with me. This is my little friend for today, little Dallas Maverick. So from there, you can decide if you want to hand place your letters and numbers for a nice clean finish, or you can also do one big block that's really easy to transfer and I like as well. I'm going to do hand placing the letters, but either way works. And if you want to do the block, what you're going to do is just fill in your big square to whatever size you want and place it on your cake. So once you have your buttercream transfers done in whatever details your jersey has, it's time for the fun part. Assembling them and finally placing them on your cake. And I'm going to show you 2 different methods that can be used to assemble it. So here is one method. You can just cut out your little piece, and I like to have my phone with my picture just so I can get my placement right. And all you're going to do is flip it onto where you want it on your cake and just place it on there, and then just peel off carefully that backing. So now I'm just perfecting those little areas and those little imperfections that I want to fix, and I love my handy dandy toothpicks to do that. Method number 2 is just using a knife and just sliding it under your piece and just plopping it on. Right now I'm just cutting out some stripes with some fondant. They're not going to be big, so don't worry about it not tasting the best. But this is optional, and you can use buttercream if you want to. But I'm just going to use fondant and get these stripes nice and straight. And you can use some cornstarch or powdered sugar to keep it from sticking to your knife. So now I'm adding my stripes to my cake. I'm just placing them around the border and the collar. Finished adding on all the details and the stripes. For my stripes, I just eyeballed where they went with the picture I had and trimmed off the excess. But here is a close-up of the finished cake. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and basketball is back. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys recreate this, make sure to tag me on my Instagram at @CBellSweets. Now that was a piece of cake.